The second family group that we're going to be looking at is called the Abracadabra family group. And the reason that it's called the Abracadabra group is because all the letters are made using the C by just changing it or extending it a bit. So you've always got this C letter that you start with, and then you can extend it into the different letters. There are 7 letters in the Abracadabra family. There is C, A, O, D, G, Q and S. Okay, if we have a look at the types of letters as we have done previously, we can see that D is a long letter, or it's got that high ascending part, so that means that it touches the top of the line. And we've also got 2 descending letters, they're going onto the line below, and that's the G and the Q. Again, when we're having a go at writing these, it's really important that you look at where your letter is positioned. So you need to make sure that most of these letters just use the bottom part of the line. They're not going into that top part of the line, okay? Now again, I need to make sure I'm holding my pencil properly, or in this case, my pen. So I've got my 2 fingers underneath, pretending to hold on to something, and then my middle finger is kind of supporting that, and I've got it resting on there, using my thumb and my pointing finger to hold the pencil nearer the bottom, near the tip, okay? So let's have a start with C. You need to start in the middle of the line, and then it's quite simply a curl round. And this might look a bit different depending on how you write, but make sure you do get that curve in and you're not sort of shortening it, making it shorter. It's not a bracket like that. That's wrong. You need to make sure you're going round, okay? But not all the way. The second letter is the A. So again, we're starting as if we're going to be doing a C, but this time we go all the way around and then up to the top, and then we're making a straight line down and a flick. Okay, I'll do that again so you can see. So we're starting in the middle, going around like a C, up, and then we need to go straight down with a flick at the end. Don't worry again if you're not very good. To begin with, it's all about practice, okay? Again, lots of children tend to do this. That's not correct. This line needs to be straight. So it's really important that you go round, straight up and straight back down again. Okay, look how straight my line is here. This bit's really important. This is not a very good A, okay? Moving on to O, this one's lovely and easy. It's just all the way around. And again, depending on what hand you write with, I go round to the left, or sometimes I go round to the right, but that feels a bit strange for me. It doesn't matter too much, because when we do our joined up writing, you'll see that naturally it goes one way or the other anyway. Okay, moving on to our ascender, that means it's touching the top. So we're still starting like the C is in the middle of the line. And again, a bit like the A, we need to make sure we make a straight line, but this time we're going to carry it straight up. So we're going around as if we're doing an A, but this time we'll go all the way up and then straight down, okay? You can see here, actually that wasn't the best because there's a bit of a gap here, but that's okay. That's why we practice, so I can try again. Straight up and done. Oh yes, that's much better. Just like that, okay? The next 2 letters are descenders, so that means they're starting in the middle of the line and they're going down into the line below. So we've got a G and a Q, and again we're using that same C first. So into a C, a bit like you're going to do an A, but this time you carry on down to the middle of the line below, and then that curl at the end is really important, okay? We're not doing G's like this. We're also not doing Q's like that. It's really important that you have the curve for the G or the flick for the Q. This again is not correct. So round, up, straight down and curve. So you can see the curve is sitting just on the bottom of the middle part of the line there. Now when you write in your English books or your project or topic books, normally you don't have these red dots in the middle, so it's perhaps a bit more difficult to sometimes get it right, but if you aim for the middle of the line below, you're kind of on the right track. Same with the Q, so starting with the C, straight up, down, and this time instead of doing the curve, you go the other way and just do a little flick at the end. So round, up, down, little flick. Round, up, down, little flick. And you can carry on and finish practicing there for me. Now the last one is an S. Now this starts a little bit like a C, but it's a squash C or a really small C that actually again you have to split the half of this half a line here. So it's really small. So we kind of do a little squash C here and then a little backwards squash C. So little squash C, little backwards squash C. And again, this one just might need a bit of practice. Around, so little C and back the other way. Squash C, back the other way. That's how we write an S. And again, what you can do if you want to practice those and see how they look next to each other is you can write them on one line. So we've got C, A, O, D, G, Q, and S. Let's do that again. C, A, remember that little flick because this helps us when we do our joined up writing later, that's why we do the flicks. O, D, G, Q, S. And there you have our Abracadabra family letters.